Welcome to the Joshua B. Boyd vlog, brought to you by family and friends, now on YouTube. Today is going to be about YouTube learning, the best practices on how to learn on YouTube. This might sound like a mundane topic, but a lot of people don't actually know how to learn on YouTube, because a lot of people that take this route take Gary V's advice a little bit too literally, when they're like, fuck school, I'm just going to learn everything on YouTube. And then they spend hours and hours and hours and hours watching YouTube videos, but get nothing done because they're not treating themselves like a student. So like, that's what today is going to sort of be about, where I'm talking about like the contrast between self-learning and learning from school, and how YouTube works and the best ways to get around it. So I guess my call to action for today is, if you like this video, drop a like at any time. You don't have to like it right now, because maybe you don't like the video right now and you're going to like it later when I get more in depth into later topics. So I'm doing this video because everything I'm going to tell you, I learned the hard way from many other sources. So I have been studying seriously on YouTube for probably 3.5, 4 years, and I've been actually doing it for like 6 years. But I was the guy that I was talking about in the beginning of the video, where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna say fuck school and watch a bunch of videos and hope I fucking pick up a thing or two. But like, that's how I treated it for the longest time. And then eventually I was like way more dialed. So one of the first ways that you can get dialed on learning on the internet is understanding this. So this doesn't apply to real school. Like if you go to college for something and spend all that money on college, that information is valid. So you don't really have to cross-reference it with other information on the exact same topic, because that information is like I said, already valid. But on the internet, like we all know, there's a lot of bullshit on the internet and there's a lot of real shit on the internet. So the first thing that you have to learn when learning on YouTube is how to cross-reference, relearn, unlearn, and learn. So you're going to learn something, and then you're going to relearn it from someone else, and then someone else on their YouTube channels. And then the first video that you watched doesn't make any sense anymore, because the other two coincide with each other, and then they make the first video you watched sound like a bunch of bullshit. And guess what? That first video you watched probably was not the best information. Maybe it wasn't false information, maybe it was outdated information, maybe it was information that is no longer relevant because the video was uploaded 4 years ago, sort of thing. Like there's all these factors that can make information not relevant. So so don't think just because a video isn't relevant that information wasn't at one time helpful to someone, because it was. And that's why it got all those views, and that's why you clicked on it. It's just not relevant anymore. So because of that, you're going to have to unlearn. And unlearning is the hardest part, because everybody, like once you decide how something works, it oftentimes feels like that's just the way now, and it's really hard to let go from that. And I'd say like people born in early 2000s and 90s babies, like we're pretty good for unlearning, because we grew up in an era where everything was changing all the time. Like I've gone through 5 decades worth of changes, and I've only been alive for 3, and I'm only 27. You know what I mean? Seen a lot of change, so it's easy for me to unlearn. But somebody that grew up like in the 70s, where life was relatively the same for 15 years at a time before any major changes happened, it's a lot harder to unlearn. So the teaching an old dog a new trick is valid, but I'd say those that have been entrepreneurs since before it was cool to be an entrepreneur, like an 80s baby, like being an entrepreneur, they've been doing this shit since way before anybody thought it was cool. So they know their shit. They're a good person to go to, and they're a good person to get mentored. I'd say a good next step across from YouTubing is getting a mentor. I've never had a mentor. I've never been able to afford a mentor. And I'll be honest, I'm probably never going to get a mentor. I'm just going to take the rest route on this one and just do it myself. But that's not how everybody might want to learn. So the other key factor in learning on the internet is understanding SEO. So search engine optimization. Websites or any piece of content is optimized to show up in a certain area on the internet based on a Google search, or based on, for anyone that uses Bing, a Bing search or a YouTube search. So you have to know how to ask questions on the internet to get the right answer. So right now, I'll give you a solid example. Right now, I'm doing my course, all my online courses for digital marketing through Google, through the Google Skillshare School. And just so you guys know, they are all free courses and they are valid and they're recognized worldwide and can get you jobs. And I'm doing this for freelance digital marketing. This podcast is a whole thing for me to market so that I have something to practice marketing. Like, I'm not just podcasting. Like, my main goal here is digital marketing, and I want to be able to offer services to people, right? So when I'm doing the tests are all open book, and they tell you that they're all open book. So you can Google things while you're doing your final exam. And what I do is there's a thing called a call to action, which is on YouTube. But then there's a call to action when you're doing the SEO and the behind the scenes shit on making an ad on Google. So I search call to action, digital marketing term. If I just searched up call to action, I would have got a bunch of YouTube videos. But because I searched up call to action, digital marketing term, I got the digital marketing term. So sometimes you have to be very precise in how you're asking things on the internet. And sometimes if it's like, let's say you just want to find out, like I'm Canadian here. So like, let's say you want to buy a hockey stick and you want to get like the nicest hockey stick out right now. So instead of searching like top rated hockey stick in North America or in Canada, nobody searches that. Any hockey guy that's just like a hockey guy, he's like, yeah, I'm an athlete. Sorry, I'm just trying to be funny here. But he's going to search up nicest hockey stick. That's what most people are going to search. So your most relevant search is actually going to be attached to that nonchalant sentence as opposed to getting really in depth like I did before. So you have to know the difference on when you're asking questions. If you're asking about exact things that have theories and definitions, get exact. If you're asking about products and services and businesses, ask it in a nonchalant way on Google and you will get the best answer. So there's always the hook in the video, and I want to get you guys hooked in on something here, and that is based on this notion. The notion that school is overrated is true. However, homeschooling traits still apply. So the current education system anywhere in the world, except for probably Sweden and Norway because they have their shit together, but for us North Americans and Australians and people in the UK, learning about 400-year-old information for the first 18 years of our lives and then diving into adult life, it's not really the easiest transition, right? And like, that's how we all know that school doesn't teach us anything, and that's why YouTube is such a powerful source and why so many people are teachers, content creators, and people learning on YouTube, because it's a huge source for information. Like, yes, I need these Google courses to get certified, but even the Google courses are pretty vague in explaining how Google works. I still have to go to YouTube to watch how that actually works. Like, they'll talk about anything in that course and how it works, what the page looks like, everything, where the settings are, but they don't show you actual screenshots in the course about what these programs look like. So where are you going to go? YouTube. YouTube will make you money. YouTube alone will not make you money. You have to get certified through either a real college or online courses, one of the two. I highly recommend online courses. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of lost myself for this second there. I'm not gonna lie, but I guess you still have to be a good student. You know what I mean? Big tip here. Probably the biggest hook tip here right now is get a binder, and on it with a Sharpie, write University of YouTube, fill it up with paper and dividers, and take all your notes from in one binder. And like, I do this. In fact, this is my Google marketing book for school. This is my YouTube book. And this is my podcasting book. Be organized. Treat it like a business. You know what I mean? Some of the greatest influencers that you guys have already watched before you found this tiny little YouTube channel is probably like, yo, like, just start acting like you're that person. And it's so true. You do have to just start acting like you're that person. Like, when I was on Instagram, I used to have like a fair amount of followers on Instagram and a vlog called Double Darting with Josh. And that's how I kind of got into content creation. But what I realized is I was majoring in a minor. Instagram is just one app. It's one form of content. It's going to get you one audience, and it has one goal, and that's attention. You can't really monetize yourself off of there unless you have attached affiliate links or something, which is a video I'll talk about later. Actually, that might actually be my next video that I put out, guys. And just so you know, at the end of this video, there's going to be tags to my other videos. And I do highly recommend that you watch another one just to compare, because like I am just getting started, so I'm pretty sure that this is the best one that I'm gonna put out in since I've started putting out solo podcasts. But I also forgot to tell you guys that I used to have another YouTube channel, and we got it up to about 100 subscribers, and it was my buddy Okello and I, and we had the Aspire podcast, and through my digital marketing and through everything I've learned on YouTube and all these studying techniques that I've showed you, I was able to get us up to 100 subscribers and 45,000 views in about 4 months, which is actually really good. Because, like, guys, like, if you have done YouTube and you know how hard it is to get a subscriber, so, like, just for that being said, like, if you guys like this, if you're engaged at all in any way in this video, please drop a subscribe. It'll help me out a lot. I need it. I only have, like, 11 subscribers as it stands for this video. And I have, like, 12,000 views on this channel. So I am trying to, like, increase that. I'm doing pretty good on my watch time. But for those of you that don't know in YouTube learning, watch time is, so YouTube needs 12 months within 12 months, 4,000 watch hours. So people spent 4,000 hours watching your video, and you need 1,000 subscribers, and your YouTube channel is monetized. You can know that and do that and whatever, but like until you put out your videos, you're never gonna get there. So the only way I'm gonna get there is if you guys help me out and subscribe, especially because I'm in the beginning. So it's a little bonus tip here. I guess I'll keep going. I got this piece of paper here with some notes on it, and it's like a pie chart. It's like a circle here, here, and here. One has self-learning, critical thinking, and articulation. So self-learning can happen anywhere from courses to YouTube to books to Google to podcasts to blogs to Reddit. Critical thinking is you debating on whether or not you agree with this information. And that is the best way to learn. You have to actually decide if that information gels with your goal and if it's going to help you or not. Because like you can take in a lot of information that has nothing to do with what you're doing. Like when you're watching, Dateline while you read a book, and you're just like consumed by how this guy got murdered on TV, which I don't understand why people are so into those shows. But that's the way it goes sometimes. So, yeah, I don't know, guys. Like, small reflection here. Today was about learning on YouTube. That's what this whole video was about. It was about learning on YouTube. And if you're enjoying yourself so far, drop a like. I'm doing this video because everything was the hard way. I learned all of this the hard way, so I'm trying to save you guys the hard way. I think I'm just going to end it. Yep. I'm just going to end it.